Let's walk through how to add a refresh button to an Excel spreadsheet. What this allows us to do is if we have any queries or connections within our data source, we can simply push a button and have it refresh the data. You could also similarly do this by going to the Data tab and hitting Refresh All. So a couple things you have to do here. So first off, if you do not have the Developer tab enabled within Excel, you're going to want to add that. So just right click on the ribbon across the top and select Customize the ribbon. From there, you're just going to go to the Developer tab, check that box off and hit OK. So this now gives us access to this Developer tab. So we're going to be creating a macro. So for this, what we can do is we can either just go in and write the code if we know it, or we can record a macro. So a couple options here. So you can push this button right up in the top left to record macro. There's also a button in the very bottom left of your spreadsheet here. So if I select this, you can create a name. You're not going to want to use spaces within your name. You can just use like an underscore for a space. So just create your name for the macro. You'll hit OK. And then from there you can actually walk through the different actions you want Excel to take. So it is recording each individual step, so you want to make sure of that. So you don't want to be like selecting specific cells or anything like that. So anyways, if we go to the Data tab, we'll go to Refresh All, and then we'll simply come back down here and hit Stop in the bottom left. So what that does now is it recorded a macro for us. So now if we go into macros here and we go to step into just to look at the code, as you can see, all that is just active workbook.refresh all. Alright, so that's option 1. So that's recording the macro. Option 2 is you can actually write the code yourself. So what you can do is you can go to your Developer tab, select Visual Basic. From there you would just select your worksheet. You'd right click and select Insert Module. From there you would just type in sub, so any macro starts with sub. You'll then enter your name, so refresh data. Once again, you don't want spaces in there, so you can put underscores if you'd like. And then from there it's just active workbook dot refresh all. And as you can see, once you enter that, it'll automatically uppercase some of the letters. So that just pretty much lets you know that you spelled it correctly and it's actually a real function. So anyways, all we have to do now is just close out. So in the top right, just select your X. What you would then do, so I'll remove this for now just to walk through the example. So you then go back to your Developer tab and then you have to insert your button. So you just go to this Insert, and right in the very top left, this first object is called Button. You can do your sizing here, and then you select the macro. So these are both the same thing. The first one we recorded, the second one we manually entered. So you just select which macro you want to run when this button is pushed. You then right click, edit text, and you can put in whatever you need. Refresh data for this example. Now if I go to my queries and connections, so this is going to refresh anything within your queries and connections. So if in this example I just have a little SQL query in here, just pulling the top 100 rows from a table. This would also work for Power Query, loading data from a file, or loading data from a folder, pulling data from the web, really any query or connection. So now as you can see, if I push this button, it loads the data, and boom, it's just a little bit easier for the end user. They can simply just push a button instead of having to go into the ribbon and refresh. You can also obviously get a lot fancier with this, so you can start writing code saying, move this data from, sheet A to sheet 1 to sheet 2. This is just a really brief kind of getting you into it. So I hope this helps. Like and follow. Nice.